afternoon everyone. I am your host for today's topic, so which is sequential circuits. We have few people here to tell us about the sequential circuits. So please welcome Mark Loy Aranco and Berlo Jaime.
Good afternoon everyone. There are two types of circuits. First is the combinational. Circuit is the digital logic circuit in which the output depends on the combination of inputs at that point of time with total disregard to the past state of the inputs. It is time independent. The output it generates does not depend on any of its previous inputs, and that's all.
Sequential circuits. In summary, sequential circuits are digital circuits that store and use previous state information to determine their next state. They are commonly used in digital systems to implement state machines, timers, counters, and memory elements, and are essential components in digital system design. So, sequential circuits, the outputs of sequential circuits depend on both present and state previous output. The feedback path is present in the sequential circuits. In the sequential circuit, memory elements play an important role and required. The clock signal is required for a sequential circuit. It is not simple to design a sequential circuit. And that's all.
So thank you so much for both of you to tell us about the sequential circuits. So, the next person will be discussed today. So let's welcome Vincent Alonso and Monares Charesa. Okay, so Mr. Alonso and Ms. Charesa. So Mr. Alonso will tell us about the asynchronous and Charesa also will tell us about the synchronous circuits.
The synchronous sequential circuits. The synchronous circuit is operated through the pulses, so the changes in input can change the state of the circuit. The synchronous circuit does not use clock pulses. The internal state of change when the input variable is changed. The unlocked flip-flops or time delayed are the memory elements of synchronous sequential circuits.
So, synchronous sequential circuits. In synchronous sequential circuits, synchronization of the memory element state is done by the clock signal. The output is stored in either flip-flops or latches or memory devices. The synchronization of the output is done with either only negative edges of the clock signal or only positive edges. That's all.
So thank you so much Mr. Alonso and Ms. Charesa. Next we have clock and signal figuring. So let's welcome Berry Clark figuration to tell us about the clock triggering.
So, good afternoon to all of us. So, a clock signal is a periodic signal in which on time and off time need not be the same. So, when on time and off time of the clock signal are the same, a square wave is used to represent the clock signal. So, we have shown this picture below is a diagram which represents the clock signal. So, clock signal and triggering. Remember that clock signal is often considered to be the square wave. The signal here sometimes stay at logic. It's either 5 volts high or 0 volts below. So an equal share of time, it basically gets repeated with a certain time which is equal to twice the off time or on time. So that will be all.
So thank you so much Mr. Figuration. So there are types of triggering. So first we have a level of triggering, so which is discussed by John Divin Pulido.
Good afternoon. The logic high and logic low are the two levels in the clock signal. In level triggering, when the clock pulse is at particular level, only then the circuit is activated. There are the following types of level triggering. Level triggering is commonly used in asynchronous digital system and in application where the duration of the input signal is important. For example, a flip-flop can be figured to update its output state when the clock pulse is in either high or low label. This is called label triggering. And when the flip-flop is ready to update its output state, when the clock pulse is in the logic high level, it's called positive label triggering. When the flip-flop is triggered to update the output state, when the clock pulse is in the logic low level, it is called negative label triggering. And that's all.
So thank you so much for telling about the level triggering. So let's welcome Nigel Augusto for telling us about the positive level triggering.
Afternoon. Positive level triggering. In a positive level triggering, signal with logic high current occurs. So in this triggering, a circuit is operated with such type of clock signal. Below is a diagram of positive level triggering. There are two levels, namely logic high and logic low in clock signal. Following are the two types of level triggering. The sequential circuit is operated with a clock signal. When it's logic high, then that type of triggering is known as positive level triggering. That's all.
Thank you so much, Nigel. So let us welcome Adrian Gineo for telling us about the negative level triggering.
Negative level triggering in the signal with logic low occurs. So in this triggering, that circuit is operated with such type of clock signal. Below is the diagram of negative level triggering. Negative triggering is a technique used to operational amplifiers to provide stable output voltage even when the input voltage is close to the power supply, or else in this technique, in the inverting input of the connected to the negative supply voltage, and the non-inverting input is connected to reference voltage. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Gineo. So the last person will be discussed today about the age triggering. So let's welcome John Lloyd Pepito.
Age triggering. In clock signal of age triggering, two types of transitions occur. Transitions either from logic low to logic high, or logic high to logic low. Based on the transitions of the clock signal, there are the following types of age triggering. That's all.
Thank you so much, John Lloyd Pepito.
Go.
So thank you so much everyone for coming today, and I have something to share with that about the sequential circuits. So this is the positive age triggering. So, positive age triggering, the transition from logic low to logic high, occurs in the clock signal of positive age triggering. So in positive age triggering, the circuit is operated with such type of clock signal. The diagram of positive age triggering is given. So once again, thank you so much for watching and listening. So goodbye and God bless.